Have you ever imagined being in the unimaginable situation of being arrested for wearing your favorite jeans? That's just one of the strange things that happens in a country as secretive as North Korea, a country secretly isolated since the end of the Korean Wars in 1953. In North Korea, leaders have had characteristics of megalomania and paranoia. This nation on the Asian continent benefits from its isolation, which restricts our knowledge to stories of secret agents and people leaving their country. Nuclear regulations ranging from energy fights to freedom of movement within the nation. Welcome to a new video. In this video, we will see the 12 strangest and most amazing things that only happen in North Korea. If you like this type of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Now let's get started. Number 12. Energy struggles. Keeping the lights on in North Korea is not as simple as flipping a switch. Power shortages are common, causing frequent blackouts in many areas. A revealing snapshot from a NASA satellite in 2014 vividly captures the extent of the nation's struggle with a lack of electricity. North Korea is literally not shining as brightly as its neighbors. In the 1990s, the Soviet Union disconnected North Korea's power supply, setting the stage for persistent energy problems. Unlike the brightly lit scenes of China and South Korea, North Korea appears dimly lit, shadowing its development image. Annual per capita energy consumption tells a stark story. North Koreans use a modest 739 kWh, far from the 10,162 consumed by their counterparts in South Korea. As a result, they have to go to bed early and entire streets fall into darkness. In 2019, around 55% of North Korean households turned to solar panels to meet their energy needs. In the city of Sinuiju, located on the border with China, you enjoy only 4 hours of electricity a day. Despite the large energy deficit, residents living in areas visible from China are encouraged to keep their lights on at night. The authorities have even given instructions on how to generate personal energy, all in an effort to create a facade of prosperity visible from the outside, so that when night falls on North Korea, it is not just at bedtime. It is an immersion in the darkness with sporadic flashes of light that hint at a nation confronting its energy challenges. Number 11. The False Village. On the border between North and South Korea lies a fascinating tale of two villages that tells a story beyond their mere existence. The Demilitarized Zone, a 4 kilometers wide strip covering 250 kilometers established as part of the agreement after the Korean War in the 1950s. The agreement ordered the demolition of all inland communities, except one village per nation. Ki-jong-dong, or the Village of Peace, is a seemingly bustling settlement erected by North Korea. Reports claimed it had more than 200 residents. They have schools, a hospital, a kindergarten, and daycare centers. From a distance, it looked like an ordinary village. People continue with their daily lives, however, reality takes an unexpected turn. Ki-jong-dong is nothing more than a masterfully crafted facade, a propaganda strategy to attract South Koreans to the other side of the border. Curiously, the Peace Village lacks any real inhabitants, except for a handful of caretakers who are occasionally seen sweeping the streets. Rumors circulate that the buildings are hollow and lack internal walls and floors. Despite its disturbing emptiness, La Villa maintains a facade that is normally even illuminated at night. This elaborate plan has not gone unnoticed. South Korean observers have confirmed the abandonment of the village and found it to be more of a gambling village than a thriving community. However, in the midst of the tension, an unexpected twist arose. The villa's loudspeakers, once used to broadcast North Korean propaganda, became an inadvertent platform for a culture clash. In response, South Korea turned on its speakers, filling the air with the upbeat melodies of K-pop, a cheerful counterpoint to the serious tones emanating from the North. Number 10. Ban on blue jeans and Western clothing. In avant-garde North Korea, where style is not just a personal choice but a statement, blue jeans, blacklist leader Kim Jong-un, see them as more than just denim. They symbolize American influence, something he is not eager to embrace. This strict dress code extends beyond jeans to a broader ban on Western clothing. The official newspaper even featured a cautionary tale about North Korean teenagers experimenting with Western fashion trends. The government's message is clear: guard against any sign of a capitalist lifestyle. The fashion police, or in this case the youth patrol, takes their duty seriously. Anyone seen flaunting blue jeans or other Western clothing should wait on the side of the road until the patrol completes its thorough inspection. Once the fashion misdemeanor is confirmed, offenders are summoned to the Youth League office, where they must confess their style sins. The only way to return home, someone has to offer them more suitable clothing. It's like a sartorial police drama that takes place on the streets. Western clothing, including t-shirts, skirts, and suits, is a big no. Instead, North Koreans are encouraged to embrace their cultural roots through traditional Korean donning clothing such as hanboks. So next time you select your wardrobe, remember that what is considered normal clothing in your country could cause some legal problems on the downtown streets of North Korea. Have you ever wondered how your sartorial choices can speak louder than words in a nation with such a distinctive fashion code? Let's hear your comments below. Number 9. Nasty fertilizer. Severe food shortages are occurring in North Korea, and several factors are to blame. The leadership's emphasis on military and nuclear activities, coupled with a lack of chemical fertilizers, has left the nation in a precarious situation, struggling to produce its own fertilizer and hampered by sanctions in obtaining any external fertilizer. North Korean farmers desperately need a solution to satisfy World of Night's unconventional soil. This term may sound euphemistic, but it implies that farmers use human waste as fertilizer, spreading it throughout his fields. The concept of selling human waste gained traction around 2010, when demand for this unconventional product skyrocketed in 2014. Kim Jong-un officially ordered his people to use livestock and human excrement to boost the growth of crops, and due to the scarcity of animals, this fertilizer material came from the people themselves. Surprisingly, human manure has earned the reputation of being the crème de la crème of fertilizers, and some claim that it imparts a unique flavor and delicious to the vegetables it helps grow. This unusual farming practice has even led to cases where families share their feces with farmers struggling to produce enough for themselves. However, it is essential to keep in mind the unhealthy nature of this approach. Reports from defectors reveal potential health risks, with cases of intestinal worms among the illnesses making headlines. According to the Washington Post, some individuals have harbored intestinal parasites that reach lengths of almost 10.6 centimeters. These parasites not only deplete essential nutrients, but also contribute to the deterioration of the population's health. Number 8. Drivers or traffic models. Despite North Korea's well-documented governance problems and the difficulties faced by its people, the country is home to some intriguing and quirky facets, such as the famous DPRK trafficking girls, who have gained such popularity that, in the past, fan pages are dedicated to them on social networks. Many nations, including North Korea, employed people to manage traffic, especially in urban areas lacking traffic signals. Pyongyang, the capital, specifically selected single, young, thin, and attractive women for this role. Today, the country's economic struggles and leaders' prioritization of military spending over development mean that traffic lights are not ubiquitous in the city, so the responsibility falls on these prominent traffic controllers who represent the nation. Approximately 50 of them are in Pyongyang. These traffic police officers receive better salaries, more free food, housing, and medical care, making this position highly sought. Despite the difficult weather conditions, they remain at their posts dressed in impeccable military uniforms. Kim Jong-un's affinity for these women is well documented, and even providing them with new equipment, including luxury platforms with umbrella covers. Their enhanced appearance and social standing make them desirable, leading to stiff competition for his affections. In 2013, a female trafficker was awarded North Korea's highest military decoration, with speculation suggesting she inadvertently foiled an assassination attempt while directing trafficking, although exact details remain unclear. Number 7. The prohibition of international telephone calls. In North Korea, making international phone calls is a big no in the world of telecommunications. The government strictly controls the use of technology, especially as countries consider them adversaries, despite having a whopping 3 million users on their popular mobile phone service. North Korea only gives the green light to local calls and firmly rejects any international dialing. If ordinary North Koreans are caught using their cell phones to chat with relatives who have made it, they risk getting a one-way ticket to political prison camps or other cozy places of detention. Still, many brave souls are taking advantage of North Korea's thriving underground private sector, and even with the associated dangers, merchants are introducing all sorts of mobile phone SIM card benefits, courtesy of their friendly neighbor China, who live close by. The border can access Chinese mobile networks and connect with people abroad using these devices, often referred to as Chinese mobile phones. To avoid detection, savvy callers venture to remote mountain hideaways by adopting aliases and keeping their conversations short and sweet, reducing the chances of calls being intercepted or alerting the ever-vigilant security staff. Several studies confirm that the North Korean leadership sees strict control over information as an ingenious way to keep its citizens in check by clamping down on foreign calls and cutting-edge technologies. The objective is to keep hidden any news about serious human rights problems in the country. Now here's a question to ponder. How far would you go to connect with your loved ones if making a simple phone call could land you in a political prison camp? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Number 6. Religious freedom. North Korea is notable for having some of the strictest restrictions on religious freedom globally. Despite constitutional claims, the reality is completely different, making religious freedom practically non-existent. Currently, the country essentially functions as an atheist state, with severe persecution directed especially toward Christians, making it the most hostile place for religious believers in the entire world. In North Korea's capital city, Pyongyang, there are a handful of churches, but they operate under strict state control and serve as simple facades. This facade is further highlighted by Kim Jong-un's demand for unwavering loyalty, which shows the true nature of religion in North Korea as a tool to maintain political control. The deliberate restriction of religious freedom in the constitution safeguards the political system from any perceived threat posed by research into religious ideologies by non-governmental organizations based on testimonies from defectors' estimates that around 70,000 Christians and followers of other religions are held captive in camps of work. The government actively encourages reporting any illegal religious activity or possession of religious items, instilling fear among residents and, consequently, Christians. They often hide their religious practices from those around them for fear of persecution and accusations of disloyalty to the government. Disturbing incidents such as the 2009 arrest of an entire family solely for their religious beliefs and ownership of a Bible highlight the extreme measures taken by the North Korean government. This family, including a 2-year-old boy, received life sentences in prison camps. Escapes from these camps have shared harrowing stories of acute malnutrition, forced ingestion of contaminated food, verbal and physical abuse, and even execution. The fight for freedom religion in North Korea remains a dire situation and an ongoing challenge. Number 5. Your own basketball rules. When the surprising friendship between Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman came to light, the world collectively raised an eyebrow. It turns out that the love of basketball runs deep in North Korea's leadership. Foreign policy claims that Kim Jong-un went so far that he built a library with almost every bull game on film and installed full-size courts in most of his palaces. Even the Secretary of State got in on the action by gifting the late Kim a basketball signed by Michael Jordan in 2000. Despite the basketball connection, he chose not to visit North Korea, leaving that privilege to Rodman. Kim Jong-un, the youngest leader, showed off his basketball prowess during his school days in Switzerland, earning a reputation as a tough, fast, and fiercely competitive player. But what is basketball without a touch of uniqueness in North Korea? He decided to give the game a twist. According to international rules in global competitions, the home court sees some interesting modifications. Dunks give you 3 points, and triples score 4. If they manage to avoid the rim, the last 3 seconds of the game are worth 8 points, which injects an exciting dose of unpredictability. In addition, missing a free throw costs the player a point and turns the strategy game around depending on the score in basketball. From North Korea, it seems they have found a way to make every point count in their distinctive style. Number 4. Controlled hairstyle. In North Korea, your hairstyle is not just a personal choice. It is subject to strict regulations. The government maintains a list of approved haircuts for both men and women, and stepping outside of those limits can result in disciplinary action. Forget gelled hair. And spiky looks. If you are men, ladies, bob and layered cuts are a no. Visit a North Korean hair salon and you will find illustrated manuals showing the only hairstyles considered acceptable by the government. For example, Korean women Northern. They can choose from a selection of 15 approved haircuts, varying options depending on their marital status. Single women can sport longer curls, while married women are expected to keep them short. Surprisingly, North Korean men also have a menu of 15 officially recognized haircuts. There is one problem: although your hair should not exceed 5 centimeters in length, except for older gentlemen who have a little more leeway with up to 7 centimeters. It becomes even more intriguing when you learn that Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, did not always comply with these rules. In an effort to maintain her unique style, she allegedly instructed men to emulate her unconventional haircut. Rumors circulated in 2015 that authorities went so far as to threaten forced haircuts for those who dared to defy these rules, especially in educational institutions where students were reportedly warned not to adopt hairstyles associated with capitalism. Women were encouraged to take inspiration from the president's wife and opt for a more conventional bob rather than replicating Kim's distinctively streamlined style. Number 3. North Korean computer system and internet. In the Democratic Republic of Korea, access to information is strictly regulated. Similar to controlling a weapon of mass destruction, each computer must be registered with the police, and obtaining government permission to own one is necessary. However, most of North Koreans cannot even dream of owning a computer or having access to the internet, given the strict regulations in larger cities. A small fraction of the population uses computer labs in offices, universities, and internet cafes. The internet in North Korea diverges significantly. From other countries, it operates as an internet, specifically Kwangmyeong or Shining Star. It resembles the internet of 1994, driven by pirated Japanese copies of Microsoft software. The main users are foreigners, and the government with limited broadband infrastructure, including fiber optic connections between major universities, is relied upon by the majority on the national network only, but a restricted number of users can access the internet around the world. As of 2016, less than 30 websites are accessible. A list inadvertently discovered by an American engineer that exposes the specific content allowed for North Korean internet users, primarily propaganda, official business travel information, recipes, and North Korean movies. These websites load slowly and are simplistic. Some academic institutions, such as the Pyongyang University of Science and Technology, provide limited internet access worldwide, although under strict supervision. North Korea banned South Korean content on popular platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Reports from April 2016 to January 2021 suggest that North Korea was planning to transition from its current 3G network to a 4G network. Number 2. The cure for AIDS and Ebola. If you need cutting-edge medical treatment, surprise, the destination to consider is North Korea. Despite its lag in several fields, the nation has a seemingly miraculous drug capable of tackling some of the deadliest diseases known to humanity. North Korea introduced the Kumang-2 vaccine, which was developed in 1996, according to the Korean Central News Agency, with reminders in 2006 and 2013. As reported by The Guardian, it was originally designed to combat the Middle East respiratory disease. The vaccine expanded its repertoire to include treatments for an impressive array of conditions: diabetes, drug addiction, bird flu, AIDS, heart disease, impotence, the common cold, computer damage, insomnia, epilepsy, cystitis, all forms of hepatitis, tuberculosis, various cancers, venial diseases, in addition to offering resistance to aging and anti-radioactive properties. And that's not all. It is said to offer efficacy against Ebola. Why not? North Korea proudly claims to have clinical trials and to have administered this wonder drug to millions of people. The secret behind this wonder is that it is made from jiang grown in a mixture of gold, platinum, plum, rare earth metals, and fertilizer, hopefully not from human waste. For about $125, those living beyond North Korea's borders can even purchase this extraordinary medicine online. According to statements from those who have purchased it, the system answers questions from interested parties. See the North Korean website for more details. Number 1. Freedom of movement in North Korea. In North Korea, moving is not as simple as deciding to pack your bags and leave. The government here takes the phrase restricted movement to a whole new level. Imagine this: you can't just hop between provinces or decide to take a spontaneous trip abroad. No, you need the green light from the authorities so that even family visits come with paperwork. Imagine having to show your certification from the local People's Committee just to spend time with your people. It's like submitting paperwork for a family dinner, bureaucratic hurdles at their finest. Now, if you're considering exploring the tourist spots, there aren't many. Mount Peak 2 and the super-secret camp rumored to be Kim Jong-il's birthplace are on the list. But it's not all fun and sightseeing. People from all walks of life, from farmers to model workers, are practically forced to make field visits. It's not necessarily a choice. It's more like do it or deal with the situation. And it's not just the locals who feel the watchful eye of the government. Foreign visitors, especially aid workers, are under the microscope. No rebellious adventures for them. Certain areas are prohibited, and deviating from the approved path could mean problems leaving the country without the approval of the powers that be. That is a one-way ticket to the club of the maximum punishment that is the death penalty. Despite the risks, there are daredevils attempting a grand escape, but if luck is not on their side, it's a horror show of beatings, hard labor, torture, and a front-row seat at a political prisoner camp. Border guards are not exactly the welcoming committee who are ordered to shoot first and ask questions later. Unfortunately, this policy has led to some heartbreaking incidents in which desperate North Koreans are gunned down in their bid for freedom. We come to the end of this video. Tell us your opinion in the comments box. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss future videos like this one. See you next time.